What's up guys, it's Agent Power. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. In today's video, we are going to be going over the top 5 underrated guns in Apex Legends. In this specific list, I'm going to be talking about guns that kind of go under the radar. They're not going to be the best guns like the 301, the Devotion, the Spitfire. It's not going to be any of those. The underrated guns are those that aren't used as much as they should be. And it might be because there's a stigma about the gun or some sort of stereotype. I'm going to go ahead and break these down here for you today in today's video. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please leave a like on the video. That would be much appreciated. Subscribe if you guys are brand new, and let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Let's go. Starting off with number 1. This is going to be the triple take sniper rifle. Why I believe this gun is so underrated is because it's classified as a sniper, and most people when it comes to battle royales don't want to choose a sniper rifle, especially in this game where you can only choose 2 weapons to hold. Most people will want a shotgun or some sort of automatic rifle because it's a little bit more forgiving. And what I mean by that is if you miss a shot with an automatic rifle, it's totally fine because you're able to get back on point and aim a little bit better while still being able to shoot those rounds. With sniper rifles, not the case. Usually you have to shoot once, you miss, you have to realign your shot. Each shot counts. But don't underestimate the triple take. Alright, so here's the reason why you don't want to underestimate this gun. Because you want to use this gun more as a semi-auto rifle instead of a sniper. The reason being is because it's got a unique shooting pattern where when it shoots it has these 3 bullets that will go out. So they don't hit at one concentrated point unless you're at a close enough distance. So the triple take farther away isn't necessarily the best option when it comes to sniper rifles unless you have the attachment, the choke, the precision choke, that will tighten up its spread and make it be a little bit more deadly when it comes to those longer ranges. But I do not want to focus on that. I want to focus on the medium to short ranges. This gun is still absolutely stellar in those ranges because in those ranges you're going to be hitting those 3 bullets at once instead of 1 or 2 here and there. Obviously, depending on aim and the circumstance, that may happen. But overall, those 3 bullets are going to hit your target when you're at those ranges. And it does 69 damage to the body. 2 shots and your enemy is down if they have no shield. This is a great weapon, and I love using it. This honestly is one of my favorite guns to use because it's not in the meta. Not a lot of people use it, and it's fun to use guns that not a lot of people use and still wreck. So that will do it for number 1. Before we move on to number 2, I want to know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section below. I want to know your top 5 rated underrated guns, as well as your thoughts on my list once the whole video is up. Alright, number 2 is the EVA 8. The reason why this is on this list is because it's a great weapon up front. Meaning when you first land, if you find an EVA 8, you have got a very good chance of surviving the first battles after landing. But this gun is not just for early game. Once you have the shotgun bolt attachment on it, blue or purple, this gun is actually really good. And a lot of people skip out on it because the Peacekeeper is better. And don't get me wrong, it is. The Peacekeeper is better. It's always a better option than the EVA 8 because it packs a bigger punch. But when you have the EVA 8 with the, let's say, purple shotgun bolt, this gun will shred. And I will go ahead and show you this clip that I have here. The first clip will be the EVA 8 without any bolt on it, and you'll be able to see the fire rate. Next will be the purple, and this, you'll be able to see the difference. It's a pretty big difference, don't you think? That's why I really like running the EVA 8 with the shotgun bolt. I find it best to aim down sight with the EVA 8 because when you're shooting that high of a fire rate with a shotgun, it's a lot easier to miss and hit off target. If you aim down sight and your aim is true, your pellets are going to hit at a tighter spread, so you're going to do a lot more damage. So if you're going to run the EVA 8, I definitely would recommend aiming down sight. And number 3 is the Hemlock. A lot of people might have some questions about this, but let me explain this to you. So the Hemlock has 2 modes, as most of the other guns in this game do. Its default mode is a 3-round burst. So it's your normal burst weapon, a lot of high verticality when it comes to its recoil. In that case, I do not like the Hemlock. But the reason why it's on this list and why it is so underrated is because you can switch this gun to a single fire mode. When it's a single fire mode, it is a semi-automatic rifle machine. It absolutely shreds. And if you have a really good aim and a pretty fast trigger finger, you'll be able to see this gun absolutely decimate enemies. Again, here's another clip and you'll be able to see the difference. I feel like you can be a lot more accurate when it comes to the single fire because you don't have as much recoil to deal with the 3-round burst. So again, I think it's just overall better gun when it's in the single fire mode than in the burst. I never ever run the Hemlock with a 3-round burst. That's why this made it to the list at number 3. Next up on the list at number 4 is the Scout. The G7 Scout is very much overlooked because it is a single fire weapon, and as I said before, most people will stray away from these mainly because it's harder to use. The skill gap is a little bit higher, so if you're not very good at aiming or shooting really fast, then the G7 Scout's going to be hard to use and you're going to be turned off by it. But if you have a fast trigger finger and good aim, the G7 Scout is a wonderful gun. And that's why I say it's very much overlooked, because you get a wide variety of different players, and most people would rather just choose an automatic weapon, which is no fault of theirs. It's just that's how the nature of the game goes. But the G7 Scout, with all of its attachments, is an absolute shred machine. It doesn't shoot as fast as the Hemlock single fire, but still it packs a punch at a higher damage profile. Definitely you want to search and find all of the attachments, because all the attachments will make this a lot better. The recoil on it, just stock, is just it's okay. But once you put some barrel stabilizers on it, the recoil pattern, and you'll just be able to see how much this gun is actually a laser and will dominate for you. And lastly, the number 5 most underrated gun on my list is the Mozambique shotgun.
What can I say except Mozambique here?
That is not true at all. I just had to put in a Mozambique joke because it is the biggest joke in Apex Legends right now. It literally has no place in the game right now, and I've shared my opinions before about the Mozambique and what I would like to see them do for that gun. But in all seriousness, number 5 on my list is the RE45. This gun not only is your best option when it comes to pistols in the early game, is actually a very viable gun in late games, because once you have the proper attachments on this weapon, it definitely can hold its own. Specifically, the light extended mag is a big key for making this gun so much better. So its default magazine capacity is 15, which is still pretty good, but you can run out of ammo really quick because it is a fully automatic pistol. But when you slap on a purple light mag, it bumps it up to 24. I know it's only 9 bullets more, but it still does a lot more. In the case of when you're landing more bullets, you're going to be doing more damage. I'm not saying to use the RE45 as your primary weapon. I'm just saying that it's a good alternative, if you want to shake things up as a secondary weapon, kind of like a cleanup gun. So if you want to use most of your ammo on one guy, clean them up with your RE45, it will do just fine, and it can hold its own. One last thing that I want to say before we wrap this video up is the honorable mention. And I had a hard time thinking about why this gun should be on this list or why it should not. And this is the Prowler SMG. I have got a lot of mixed reviews about the Prowler, and again, I'm kind of torn between it. So it kind of depends on how you look at underrated. And the reason why I put this as an honorable mention is because the Prowler is kind of a second thought when it comes to an assault rifle or a main gun to deal your damage. Everybody knows that the Prowler is much, much better when it has the select fire hop up on it. It makes the gun extremely competitive in the game, and it's a very viable weapon. but I feel like a lot of people don't use it because it requires that attachment along with some other attachments to make it a little bit more viable. So that is why I put it as an honorable mention, because a lot of people will choose different guns over it, like the R301, the Spitfire, those kind of guns over it, because it doesn't take a lot of attachments to make those guns good and to win more gunfights. But with the Prowler SMG, once you have those attachments, this gun is actually really good. It is still good without those attachments as a 5-round burst SMG. If you can land your shots, it is still very deadly. Alright guys, again, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? Let me know your guys' list down in the comment section. I'm really looking forward to see what you guys have to say. Thank you again so much for joining me for today's video. Alright guys, we'll see you next time.